Children's book about throwing tantrums by Joy Berry. Help me be good. A children's book about throwing tantrums by Joy Berry. This book is about Annie and her friend Tammy. Reading about Annie and Tammy can help you understand and deal with throwing tantrums. You are throwing a tantrum when you show your anger loudly and violently. A tantrum is an outburst of bad temper or anger. Annie is laying on the ground. Tammy sees her and says, "Huh?" Rabbit thinks, "Yep, that looks like a tantrum, all right." You might become angry if people do not do what you want. You might want to throw a tantrum. Dad says, "Annie, I'm sorry, but I can't play with you right now." Annie says, "But I want you to play with me now." You might become angry if you must do something you do not want to do. You might want to throw a tantrum. Dad says to Annie, "It's time for you to pick up your toys." Annie says, "But I don't want to pick up my toys." Rabbit thinks, "I'll say." You might become angry if you cannot have something you want. You might want to throw a tantrum. Dad says, "No, I am not going to buy that for you." Annie says, "But I want it!" You might become angry if things do not happen the way you want them to happen. You might want to throw a tantrum. Tammy says, "I won again." Annie thinks, "It's not fair, I wanted to win," and stomps on the game. You might hurt yourself or others if you throw a tantrum. Annie grabs her foot and says, "Ow! I hurt my foot." You might ruin something if you throw a tantrum. Tammy says, "Look, you ruined your game." Annie looks at it and says, "Oh." You might bother the people around you if you throw a tantrum. They might decide they do not want to be around you. As Tammy's leaving, Annie says, "Hey, where are you going? I thought we were going to play." Rabbit sticks his tongue at Annie and thinks, "Forget it." You are angry. You should never do anything to hurt yourself or others. You should not do anything that would damage or destroy things. This does not mean you should not get angry. It does not mean you should keep angry feelings to yourself. Annie looks at Tammy as she leaves. Rabbit thinks, When you are angry, you might need to do something to express your angry feelings. You might want to express your anger by crying, yelling, jumping up and down, or hitting things, such as a pillow, punching bags, or mattresses. It is okay to do these things as long as you do not disturb other people or damage or destroy anything. To avoid disturbing others, you might need to go outside or into another room while you express your anger. You might need to go someplace away from other people until you calm down. Tammy goes into her room and says, "I feel so angry," and punches her pillow. Whomp! Turtle flies away, thinking, "I really must get crawling along." Talk with someone after you calm down. The best person to talk with is the person who made you angry. If you cannot talk with that person, talk with someone else. Tell the person how you feel and why you feel angry. Tammy says to Mom, I'm really angry. I beat Annie fair and square. She said I cheated. Turtle thinks, she's as angry as a turtle on his back. Phew! Try to decide how you should handle your anger. Think of what you could do to make things better. Tammy asks Mom, what should I do? Mom says, maybe you should not play win or lose games with Annie. Do what you have decided to do. Then avoid doing things that make you or other people angry. Annie says to Tammy, let's play. Tammy says, okay, but I don't want to play win or lose games with you. Turtle thinks, uh-oh. It is important that you express your anger without throwing a tantrum. You and the people around you will be happier when you deal with your anger properly. Annie says, hey, this is fun. Turtle thinks, phew. The end. A note to parents about throwing tantrums. Throwing tantrums is usually the most effective weapon in your child's arsenal of attention-getting devices. No matter where a tantrum occurs, no matter who is around, all eyes usually focus on the source of a tantrum. But is this kind of attention good for children? Absolutely not. This kind of attention is not good for anyone. The purpose of this book is to help children understand why they throw tantrums and why tantrums are an ineffective way to get what they want. In addition, it teaches children more acceptable ways to get the attention they need. By reading and discussing this book with your child, you can put an end to the tantrums that aggravate you and prevent your child from effectively communicating his or her needs. Disciplining a child who is throwing a tantrum begins with the realization that responding to his or her misbehavior only perpetuates it. The best way to put an end to any tantrum is to completely ignore it. This may require separating yourself from your child during his or her tantrum. After your child calms down, discuss more acceptable ways to handle the emotions and events which resulted in a tantrum. Thank you.